Hello everybody, welcome on in. The holidays are over. I hope that you all enjoyed. I myself am back to playing New World and I am back to streaming as well. So if you guys want to catch the live stuff, be sure to check that out. And I've been playing a lot of Outpost Rush, just PvP in general, having some fun. And I got a few clips that I wanted to share with you guys today. Of course, if you want to see a written guide to this build or a build video, there's a link down below in the description for you guys. Not a lot has changed since that video, mostly just got some upgrades on my perks and gear score, as well as the addition of the Oak Flesh Bomb, thanks to now having 200 intelligence, so I can get my mana back on the roll. So, let's get right into that PvP commentary. The first fight here at the enemy outpost, the first guy that I run into is a Fire Staff and Ice Gauntlet mage. Very common, actually, to see a lot of Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet right now, but not quite as common as that Void Gauntlet Ice Gauntlet. The first player goes down, and the next enemy player starts creeping in, and he's got what looks like Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet again. He throws down the field on me. I go for the flesh to try to get behind him, get a few pokes because he did waste a lot of stamina by roll canceling his moves as he was attacking there. And I managed to get a little bit of damage, but I don't want to stick around because we've got this guy with the Spear, Sword, and Board chasing me down. Spear, Sword, and Board, a combo I've actually seen a lot of too recently. And I find for my build that this combo can be tricky to fight if you allow them to get on top of you. But for the most part, if you can kite them out, you can just avoid a lot of their stun game and then get that counter riposte at the right moment. A really good couple reads on his attacks there into the riposte, and then I go for the flesh right through him into a very quick backstab. So a short distance on the flesh, mostly just to stack the damage from both hits there. And I managed to bring that player down too. And then I just go for a little bit of a kite back inside here. And what ends up happening is a lot of friendly players come and join, so a little bit later on, I'm still running around in the back here, my friends are gone, and this guy comes running out the door with his hammer. Fantastic riposte on his heavy attack there into a huge amount of backstab damage, and then I just chase him inside, give him a few pokes, using the evade to give me a little bit more distance coverage with the Rapier to stay on top of him there. And then I go into the burnout, manage to get a connection on both the enemy players. The enemy Frost Gauntlet player goes for the Wind Chill, trying to get a bit of damage, but I catch him with a really nasty flesh there to put quite a bit of damage into him. And then the enemy bow player hits me with his shot. I take the stagger. The other player goes for the scream with his Void Gauntlet, and I just go for the riposte. After taking a stagger like that, even when they're shooting me with a ranged attack, I do like to try to riposte it. I don't know, riposte has a shorter cooldown now, so you can definitely use it in that way if you time it properly. And now I'm just doing my best to kind of fight these guys. I decide to go for a bit of a target shift because the Void Gauntlet player is playing very defensively, and he goes for that scream again. A good read on it. I know when they pull the Void Gauntlet out and they get close, that's the first thing they want to do. So I managed to get the riposte on that. Throw the Pillar of Fire down on this guy. He, I think, dodges through it, so I don't get the damage there. And then I get a nice Fireball connection there. Get the flesh into the backstab, and then he dodges away on very low hit points. And I'm just going to chase him down with the Fire Staff here. Missing those light attacks. Finally connect one. Throw the Fireball down. The Hatchet saving him there. But going through with the Burnout, a fantastic option against a Hatchet user like that, because the burn will keep their health very low. And then once they are susceptible to dying again, just one burn tick will take them down. And that ends up working out for me. The enemy players retreat back inside here, and I decide, alright, I'm going to follow these guys and see what we can do here. And I enter, throw down the Pillar of Fire, just seeing if I can connect on anybody. Kind of tough to aim that skill when it's a little bit more of a distance. I really like to use it kind of at my feet while someone's charging at me. Get a good riposte on both players, feed one of them the heavy attack, go for the Fire Staff burnout back through them. A good Pillar of Fire connection that time. I actually get both players and putting excellent pressure into this Life Staff player. He goes for the block here on very low HP. And really unfortunate, get hit by the sword player's gap close from behind. I didn't see him coming. And then he goes for the chain stun, and the rifle player shooting at me too. I get taken down really fast there. And then moving on here to another clip. This is in a different Outpost Rush game that I had. And these guys are just coming down the hill to defend their outpost. You guys know me, I always love to play at the enemy side of Outpost Rush. And I go for a bit of pressure on top of them, but they do a good job kind of fencing me off, so I just kite out to the side here, and one player ends up chasing me, and he's trying to approach with the spear, goes for the kick. I get a good read on that, into the roll past him, try to get that flesh on him, but he ends up fleshing away as well, and tries to go for his stun with the spear. I dodged the first one and then go for the burnout through him. I had quite a feeling he would go for that second stun, but I still committed to the burnout simply because when we get stunned, we'll still move a bit thanks to the burnout. So we're not in a really susceptible position, and that's a pretty short duration stun, so we should be okay. Another player comes in here. He goes for an attack a little bit late on my riposte, but I do manage to get it still, and a huge flesh into the backstab. That was 5k damage with just the flesh backstab there. And I managed to bring that guy down really quickly, and the spear player jumps back on top of me. A good read on his incoming pole vault there. Again, I try to go for the flesh into the backstab. He ends up getting a good read on the roll, preventing me from dealing the damage there. And I just retreat a little bit behind the wood stuff as the other enemy player starts lobbing fireballs at me. Go for a big heavy attack off of that riposte, and then finally land that flesh backstab. He doesn't get the roll that time, and I managed to get a nice kill on him too. Then I chase this guy towards the door here. He ends up going inside, so I just knock on the door a little bit, seeing if they'll let me in. He comes back up to the top, throws down the Frost Gauntlet crap on me. This guy throws down the Maelstrom. I end up just stepping 1 foot in it, but quickly swap to the Rapier, go for the riposte, and get a little bit of damage, and then just back out with the evade right away, seeing the 2 enemy ranged players coming in. And we've got some more Ice Gauntlet. We've got some Void Gauntlet. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. Rapier Fire Staff is okay against Ice Gauntlet, Void Gauntlet. You just have to be really careful how you approach the Ice Gauntlet. The Void Gauntlet itself, I find, is not so bad because I'm playing such a kitey build. They're not healing a lot off of me because they're not hitting me very often. I feel like the Void Gauntlet will feel a lot stronger, and maybe people's impression of it being so strong is based around playing more in a heavy armor situation where you're doing a lot more trading and a lot less active dodging. That being said, I get a good amount of pressure into the one Void Gauntlet player there. He ends up deciding to retreat, leaving his poor Fire Staff buddy alone. I get a nice connection, no crit, almost 3k with the Pillar of Fire. And this guy ends up going on top of my friend and killing him. We're going to go for the flash, jump through him, and the Brute's coming in to try to save him. I try to res my friendly player here. Unfortunately, he gets shot by an enemy musket player up the hill there. And yeah, that's going to happen. That's not a good place to be downed, even if someone can get the res. Very susceptible to the range shots there. And I go back inside here just wanting to have a little bit of terrain. I don't want to fight the ranged guys way out in the open like that. The enemy Ice Gauntlet player tries to trap me there with his Ice Shower, but I managed to just step close enough to him that I don't get hit by it. Big connection with that Pillar of Fire, and I think it was the shot from the Brute that actually finished that guy off for the last hit there. And I just quickly move on top of the next player here. He pulls his Rapier out, goes for the riposte. Kind of just staring at each other a little bit there. I step right on top of his trap, so I right away respond with my own riposte. And while I still can't roll, I go for the evade as well, and then finally am able to roll. He went into the shooter stance after that right away, so that would have been a very dangerous position for me. And there you see I get great damage on him. Unfortunately, he manages to riposte right at the last moment, and he catches me with the stun, throws the trap down on me, but we've got our own riposte answer to the trap. And he goes for the riposte again. This time he's a little bit early. I jump on top of him with the flesh here, trying to hit him so desperately with my Rapier, but the reach is just not happening. And I did want to shoot the fireball there. The second shot on the fireball ends up going through, but I definitely didn't mean to use the riposte. Yeah, weapon swap can be a little bit sticky this patch. That being said, we've got one more guy left in here. Nope, we got more guys coming up on the right-hand side here. Just one axe guy. He goes for the pull there with Reap. I want to riposte it right away, but at this stage of the fight, me and these guys as well, I think, are starting to experience a little bit of lag because things are not really connecting or going very proper. That being said, I think it's because all of our friends came charging in and they're throwing heals down, and that fight ends up turning into a big Zerg fest. And I've got one last clip for you guys here as I say goodbye. And this is a little bit of some open world PvP I ran into. Of course, we're fighting a Void Gauntlet Lifestaff player. I know this is something that is a very common spec right now that you see a lot of people using. Personally, I don't think Void Gauntlet is all that it's made out to be. It's not a bad weapon, but it definitely isn't universally powerful. In my mind, the Void Gauntlet is a slow weapon that's reliant on hitting your opponent to heal yourself. And if your opponent's faster than you, well, all of a sudden this weapon doesn't heal you so well. So I definitely think it has weaknesses, and I personally don't have issues fighting Void Gauntlet players myself. Ice Gauntlet, on the other hand, that can be some scary stuff. Ice Spike doing enough damage to almost one-shot me from full health. If anything could be looked at, I think, balance-wise in the near future, that would definitely be one. Of course, these are just my impressions based on my gameplay and playstyle. I'd love to hear what you guys think. You can let me know down in the comments below. Check out my website, pvpnewworld.com, for written guides to this build and guides to all my other builds as well. Follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with me, and if you want to catch that live gameplay, you can always give me a follow on Twitch. If you guys want to send in your clips for the New World Top 5 battles, you can send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. This show is sponsored by What the Fast, a VPN for gamers that can give you better ping to your favorite games, free to try for the first month. There's a link down below for you guys. And of course, a massive thank you and shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you guys for supporting the show and keeping it going all this time. Thank you everybody so much just for tuning in and watching. As always, I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you next time.